Being a leader in the nation's oldest and largest cattle industry organization takes dedication, as Minnesota cattleman Don Schiefelbein has proven. He served in multiple ways, including his current role as NCBA's president-elect. He's here now to share some of his insights on what it's like to be a volunteer leader. Don, you have devoted a lot of time and energy and effort to providing volunteer leadership in lots of organizations across the industry. Why do you do it?
Well, if you ask the family, it's because the farm works better at home when I'm gone. But the reality is Dad has a saying that says, as the industry goes, so does your operation. So you have to give into that industry and make sure it's successful for the family farm to be successful. So that's why we invest so much time and effort.
Well, you've certainly done your part, and we appreciate that. We just completed the convention last week here in Nashville. Tell us just a little bit about some of the key issues that were discussed over the week.
Yeah, of course, the major issue that's just vibrating through the industry is this dry conditions across the western United States. And, you know, it's been the driest conditions through lots of areas in the last 35 years. So just trying to get their arms around how do we just continue to function and how do we maintain our operation was a large discussion. The other item, Kevin, that was discussed, of course, is price discovery. And, of course, that's an important issue that NCBA has been working on for now almost a year, trying to get our arms around what can we do to do a better job of making sure cattlemen get the best price possible for their product.
You know, I don't know if I can remember a time in my life where the cattle and beef industry has been discussed more on Capitol Hill than it is right now. And I'm curious, tell our viewers a little bit about the policy-making process within NCBA. How do you develop the policy that gets promoted and lobbied in Washington, D.C.?
Plain and simple, our policy is created at the grassroots. So it really is as simple as somebody has a great idea or thoughts and say this needs to be addressed. They push it through one of our affiliates typically, and that affiliate carries it to the national, and it's voted on and decided whether or not that becomes our official policy. Unlike what most people may think, it is not top down at all. It is just we look at the policies and decide how are we going to implement the people's rules, if you will.
There's certainly been some frustration between segments of the industry that have been amplified over the last year or two. Why do you think it's so important to have an organization that represents all segments of the beef industry?
Because we are one beef industry, right? You can't do what's best for one without understanding how it impacts the other. So you have to have a collective thought as you put into policies that you aren't putting into a policy that negatively impacts or cripples another segment of the industry. It's got to be one for all and all for one, and I think that's an important logic when we go through NCBA.
Very good. Don, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Every day, NCBA leadership and staff is working on the issues that matter to cattle-producing families just like Don's. Join in the fight for our industry's future by becoming an NCBA member. Just call 866-233-3872, or you can visit the website ncba.org.